Section 9. How turnings transition, seismic shifts and shedding. Why this matters. Knowing how a turning will change is just as important as knowing when. If we can anticipate whether the next shift will be explosive or gradual, we can prepare for its risks and its opportunities. Strong institutions, as in Section 8, can sometimes absorb even primed shocks without tipping the cycle. Weak ones amplify them. Not every turning begins the same way. Some erupt with a moment of clarity, others creep in quietly until we realize the ground has shifted. Understanding these modes is crucial to anticipating the next phase of the cyclone. Seismic narrative shift. A seismic narrative shift occurs when an event, or a tightly linked cluster of events, is interpreted as large enough to reset the public mood almost overnight. This is not purely about material damage, it's about symbolic and emotional weight. The assassination of John F. Kennedy, the September 11 attacks, or Pearl Harbor each triggered an immediate reframing of national priorities, identities, and fears. Neurochemically, this is a cortisol spike hitting a society that's already primed by rising stress. The event doesn't just happen in history, it recenters history, creating a before and after in the public consciousness. Shedding transition. By contrast, a shedding transition happens without a singular rupture point. Instead, old narratives lose cohesion bit by bit, institutions and norms erode, and people begin to act as though a new era has begun, even if no one can agree when it started. Neurochemically, this aligns with a dopamine withdrawal after a peak. There's no one shock to rally around. Instead, the shift is recognized in hindsight. Examples include the slow cultural unraveling of the late Gilded Age or the gradual fading of 1960s idealism into 1980s market absolutism. Another example is the gradual erosion of post-Cold War optimism through the 1990s and early 2000s as economic inequality and political polarization deepened without a singular crisis event to mark the shift. The threshold event. Both types depend on thresholds. A society can experience mid-sized shocks that fail to trigger a turning change because the collective mood isn't ready to reinterpret itself. But when emotional, chemical, and narrative conditions align, even a modest event can tip the scale. Sometimes a society will reject mid-sized events because they don't feel like the real turning point yet. A mid-event rejection. When the right-sized or right-timed event finally arrives, the shift is swift and widely acknowledged. The two primary transition modes and their variants can be compared side by side, showing how neurochemical state, event profile, and public recognition interact to tip a society into its next turning. Whether abrupt or gradual, these transitions shape not just the mood of the moment, but the feedback loops that carry the cycle forward.